We mean that in a variety of ways, and would love to have your input and your voice in this, because sometimes we talk about topics of particular religious significance. We have conversations with rabbis. We have conversations with those from the Islamic faith. We have conversations with Christians. We have conversations with artists. We have conversations with natural health coaches and parenting experts. We bring it all together, and we try to have a positive, upbeat conversation.
We really are quite amazing.
And the we that I'm getting at there is that voice that you hear is John Music, the sidekick around here. And we're also joined by Glenn, the new guy. Glenn's been the new guy here for, about a year.
That's right.
But he's the only professional radio personality in the whole mix. But to us, he's the new guy. So Glenn, how was your week? What were you up to?
My thought is we don't know exactly what manna in the Bible looked like, but it seems like it arrives in Minnesota every morning overnight, just like it did in Bible times.
This white substance sort of appears. It is disheartening, though, in that way. It's like the anti-manna. It's as if the Lord God of the Bible has forgotten us and left us behind. I don't do well with it. Do you do well with it, Glenn? Do you appreciate it? Do you wake up and feel that sense of new covering?
Well, my weekday job, I got a third-floor corner window view. It's really beautiful, but boy, driving in it every day and walking through parking lots that are just 3 feet of slush, and it makes me think, wow, we're only halfway through January. We got to get used to this.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I feel that too. Those of you who are listening to the podcast around the world and around the country, and you don't sense this, this is dark times here.
God is trying to kill us.
This is when you really feel like it's all against you.
Yeah.
It's all piling on. It's all piling. Well,
like a plague, maybe.
Yeah,
at least it's not flies or frogs or things.
No, but it's worse. It's frozen. I have always, I won't get into my rant about winter, just that it's the failure of summer.
Yeah.
And so I live with that all the time. But someday summer will fight back.
That's right. Rise again.
Someday it won't hurt to go outside. That's all I'm saying. Well, how about Sidekick? Well, how was your week? What were you up to?
Well, I had a bunch of things going on, but helped out with the social media boot camp on Thursday, which was good.
Went terrifically. Another batch of people trained in how to use social media for the benefit of their nonprofit and for-profit organizations.
Yeah, I
brought
was
to you by Socialphonics at socialphonics.com.
I was amazing, and then my daughter painted a room in our house this weekend. I mean, my daughters are just fantastic.
Is that so?
Yeah. Her and her friend, they did a really good job. So
you were a proud papa.
I was, yeah.
You were a proud papa. Not that you're not a proud papa. Well, every week, but this week you had a reason for it, huh?
Yeah.
Well, excellent. I had an extremely tiring week.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a lot going, a lot of emotional things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'll get into some of that in the cripes and the come on, you got to be kidding me. A whole vacation debacle.
Okay.
I am sitting here right now with my face aglow, and if you're watching on the Ustream and you think you need to change the hue, it's probably not that. It's probably just the remnants of my Palm Beach tanning sessions that I have had to be part of.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I will get into that. But I had a very tiring and exhausting week.
What were you
emotionally tired? Well, a whole number of things. There were some business related things. There was a busy schedule. I have children. This vacation stuff that I'll talk about later was just unnerving. I had some personal issues. A very long, tiring week.
Wow, sounds like
and I heard on a science program that I listened to. I kind of geek out and listen to science stuff, that the North Pole has been shifting.
Oh, my.
And I think that's it. I think that there's some magnetic force change, and the force is not with me.
Well, how do you plan for that?
Yeah, I don't know how you. I'm not doing well with this shifting North Pole magnetic pull.
Yeah,
I feel pulled in all kinds of directions. I guess is what I'm saying, and so it was extremely tiring. In fact, I had to sell some items that could have been of the antique variety.
Oh, okay.
That had belonged to my mother, and we're clearing out some estates. So I'm working with an antique dealer.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm in and I'm talking between these antique dealers, and I was selling some pieces, which is, who wants to be the guy bartering for things that you don't know anything about, right?
Right.
Very, very out of my league. Mm-hmm. Okay, I have no idea what's going on.
You don't have an expertise in antiques?
No, none at all. And they're like, well, how much do you want for it? I'm like, How much do you think it's worth?
Yeah.
And then the guy said, well, you got to give me a starting point. So I say $5,000. He's like, well, no, I'd give you, give you $150 for it. I'm like, okay, now we're started.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean I've got to start this whole thing? So anyway, I have this I am so tired all week long. Like, I'm not sleeping well at night. It's weighing, right? All this stuff was just sort of weighing on me. So I could tell my mind was becoming less clear. Mm-hmm. And I'm a lot of trouble when my mind's clear. I'm a wreck when my mind's not clear.
Yeah.
Right. So I end up in this conversation about a table with this fellow.
Okay.
Well, and another antique person. So I'm having this long conversation with him about all this, and the guy decides that he'll buy it, and I decide it's a fair value. So I decide, okay, I'm going to sell it to him. He gives me the money, and I pack up the rest of my items. And within 4 minutes of this deal with this guy, he leaves. I'm walking out, and I walk by the woman who's kind of like running the cashier person at this place, and I said, hey, I'm going to go run this to my car, and then I have to come back in and grab that table. And she looks at me very puzzled, and I've been in there for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
She goes, well, I thought Steve bought that table. I'm like, oh my gosh, he did buy the table.
Yeah.
I am so, and she now her whole countenance changes. Yeah. Now she gets this concern, like she thinks I'm a scammer. She thinks that I took his money. Now I'm going to come back in and take the thing. And I'm trying to explain to her. I'm like, I am really sorry. I am just so very tired. And she's becoming more concerned now because I'm starting to smirk. Right now, I just look like I've got that smirky look on my face, like I'm guilty of something. Yeah. And it didn't go well. I had I just said, seriously, I probably wouldn't even come back and got it. I probably would have remembered. And she's like, well, we talked for a long time about that table.
Yeah.
I know. I just like, don't take me seriously here.
Right.
So I've had that kind of week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in our radio program, we have a lot going on today. We have a lot to talk about. It is going to be a power-packed day.
Yes.
I mean, it's just so full of things. I can't wait to get into it. It's going to be quite interesting. And we're going to be talking about Palestine and Israel. Mm-hmm. Got a friend that's going to be coming on who's talking about that in the second hour.
Yep.
We're going to be talking about Minneapolis, that was just designated as the gayest city in the country.
We're number one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's great. I think, you have to be good at something. And
sure.
Anytime you win an award, you ought to take it.
Yeah.
So Minneapolis is the gayest city. We'll be talking about that a little bit.
Where's my plaque?
And by the way, one of the things that wore me out this week has to do with that topic.
The gays?
Yes, conversation about gay people and Christianity and faith and communities and stuff. It stirred up again, and I provoked it to stir up. But it stirred up again. It took a lot of time and energy and kind of wore me out.
I'm exhausted already.
Yeah, and there's a little irony in that.
Okay.
Right? Because the term gay, which was part of our vernacular in the English language, was sort of used as a slight to homosexual people, that they're very gleeful, mm-hmm. that they're very pleasant, that that's happy. That if someone were gay, there was nothing that meant that you were perky.
Sure.
You were happy.
Yeah.
So it was used as sort of like, gay people somehow are like, which is sort of a derivative of that term, sort of a nasty thing to say to somebody. I don't think it should be. Yeah. So I'm glad that gay people took it back. Yeah, but it's sort of ironic to me.
Yeah.
That when you have a conversation about gay, that makes me sad.
It could be so heavy, yeah.
Yeah, it could be so heavy.
Sure. What else are we going to be talking about?
So, we're going to be talking about that. I was lied to. I've been lied to my entire life. I was lied to by astrologers.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that in the second hour. Mm-hmm. And then tomorrow is Martin Luther King Day, celebrated. Banks get to be closed. Federal offices are closed. A lot of other people. New guy, I bet you've got to work, though, don't you? New guy, I bet you're working. I bet you don't get the day off.
Nope.
Yep. Sidekick, do you get the day off of being unemployed?
No, I don't.
You're still unemployed tomorrow.
I am.
Yeah, that's horrible. Unemployed people, they don't get the day off.
Nope.
It's like my kids wondered why this whole vacation thing I'll talk about. I'm going on vacation tomorrow. Mm-hmm. They wanted to know why they didn't get to go along.
Well.
I said, you don't have jobs. Why are you vacationing?
You're right.
You're homeless people that live in my house.
Right.
You got to be kidding me.
So vacation from freeloading.
Yeah. Right. So by going somewhere to freeload.
Yeah, right.
You're just doubling down. You're not actually vacationing.
Right.
So we have that and this Martin Luther King holiday. And I'm going to try to, how should I say this? I'm going to try to extend the meaning of the I Have a Dream speech.
Oh, okay.
I would like to offer a bit of a critique.
Ambitious.
I would like to say, Mr. King, I think there's a better way to say that.
Oh, my.
Yeah. Hubris, I tell you.
You on those phones?
Yeah. Now, here's what I want to ask the listeners, and they can call in at any point in any one of the segments. I'll try to remind you. I'd love to hear this. Do you have a suggestion in 2011 for something that should be invented? You can't invent it. Here's what I think. I'm going on vacation tomorrow. On my voicemail, when you call my phone right now, and you know what it'll tell you?
What?
I'm not receiving calls or returning voicemails till after January 28th. So don't leave a message for me, please.
Yeah.
But email communication, text communication, Facebook communication, the person only gets that response once they've sent me the message.
Yeah.
Now I will have all kinds of messages that aren't needed anymore because the person didn't know that I wasn't going to be responding.
Oh, right.
I think somehow there should be an autoresponder that puts up a little wall that when you send someone an email message or a text message, it says, hey, I'm not going to be responding to this. Do you want to take it back now? Because then my email box won't be full of 300 or 500 messages that the person said, oh, if I knew you were away, I never would have sent it to you. Because they don't get to leave me a voicemail because I tell them I'm not going to be responding to this, so don't leave me one. I want that for the rest of my digital communication.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of people who would like to be able to take back some emails after they sent it.
Yes, after they sent it. Well, I think this would be a good way. Really, I'm not going to be responding to this one. And just as a vacation reminder, someone should come up with that. So maybe you have an idea that in 2011 you want someone to be, inventing. Call us up, tell us about it, share that here, break the news, share it with another inventor, and maybe someone will have it. Our call-in numbers here are 952-946-6205. Give us a call. Doug Pagitt Radio, religious radio that's not quite right. Got a full morning. It's not just a full bank of callers. We got a full topic scheduled for today. So we're going to be back with How I've Been Lied To after the break here on AM 950, the voice of Minnesota, and DougPagittRadio.com.